and gentlemen, welcome. Muy buenos días a todos. Bienvenidos. For those that may not know me, my name is Esme Villarreal. I'm the president and CEO for your chamber, the Brownsville Chamber of Commerce. We're truly excited to welcome you today. We have an outstanding program prepared. For those that may not be familiar with Friday with the City, this is an outstanding collaboration amongst the City of Brownsville and the Brownsville Chamber of Commerce, so we can highlight what's happening within your city. We want you to know everything and anything that affects your business and, of course, our community as a whole. We've had this partnership for over maybe 3 years now, and it continues to only get better. Our goal together as one city, through one vision, through the City of Brownsville, is to always educate our constituents, to keep our businesses growing, and to make sure that you know everything that will impact your business as we continue to grow. It is no secret that we're one of the most fastest growing cities in the region. We're the 16th most safest city in the United States, thanks to the outstanding men and women in blue. And I want to thank, of course, our chief. Thank you, Chief, for all that you do, and your officers. Let's give them a round of applause, please. Woo! So I always get excited when I'm on podium, and I always have a script, and I always miss the script. No secret. People know this by now, but what I've learned throughout the years, I'm actually close to celebrating my 10th anniversary at your local Chamber of Commerce, is, yes, I'm very, very, very excited. God willing, that will be in a couple of months. But I mentioned such because something that we learned through this initiatives and all these events that we do, your chamber is a member-driven business organization, and we solely depend on the investment of the business community, the support, of course, of our City of Brownsville. And with that said, throughout this initiatives, we learned that our people want to hear anything that comes from the heart. So I have a script, and possibly ruined the script. I apologize, Danielle, with time in advance. But with that said, you know, these events cannot happen without the support of our sponsors. And today's event sponsor is Cellrico Services, Inc. They're not here today, but I want them, because I know we have a great communications department taking video. So let's give Cellrico a very loud round of applause. So once they see the video, they know that we really, really appreciate them. Thank you so much. And, you know, as we continue our program, we want to make sure that we acknowledge the individuals that once support our chamber and, of course, the leadership for the City of Brownsville. Today, with us, we have our City Manager, Ms. Helen Ramirez. Bienvenida. Good morning, Helen. Como que no se escuchan, no han comido, there's coffee. I mean, let me take a sip of coffee. Oh, I forgot it. Okay, so that doesn't help. But also with us, we have Deputy City Manager, Mr. Alan Gart. Sir, thank you for joining us today. And we have our Assistant City Manager and Police Chief for the City of Brownsville, Mr. Felix Sauceda. Bienvenido. Thank you very much. I also know that we have our Assistant City Manager for the City of Brownsville, Mr. Doroteo Garcia. Doroteo, we saw Doro here earlier. Thank you. And my eyes just keep going like this. If I miss someone, I really apologize. I really do. Let's see. I believe that our mayor is here also. Yes, John, welcome. Good morning. Good morning to our mayor, John Cowan. We love having your support, and we love always seeing you so early with a great smile. Sorry, I did not see you. I'm a little blind. I apologize, John. But we get excited to see your leadership here. It means the world to us as your chamber and, of course, as our city, to come together and just have coffee together. When we have and share coffee, we break bread together, things change, and the course of our future is very bright. And I think everyone who's here today, you know, is a true testament of such. With that said, I do want to take a moment to acknowledge our board of directors. We, the chamber, have 20 leaders that represent all kinds of businesses, your small, medium, large corporations. These individuals are the governing board for our chamber. We, the staff, have the honor of working alongside very futuristic and visionary leaders that only want the best for our chamber and our business community. So if I can have our board members, please raise your hand so you can be acknowledged. I know they're all over. Thank you very much. We really appreciate you guys. So I can be talking all day, of course, right? But that's not the point. Today's event is really to update you of what is the future ahead for Brownsville, Texas. And we know that everyone knows, you know, our coming speaker, but to me, it is very important to always showcase and give you insight of who she is. For us as an organization, and as we collaborate with our city of Brownsville, and we grow stronger relationships and bonds with our city, we've seen such a great relationship grown throughout the years. And I do want to thank Helen for her vision and for allowing us to continue to collaborate together and really enhance, our program of work through the Chamber, but also enhance the relationships that are impacting everything that we do every single day as a one city and one vision community. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am very excited, as always, to introduce a very fierce, strong woman that needs no introduction, our Brownsville City Manager, Ms. Helen Ramirez. She has a rich background in urban development and strategic planning. Helen has been a driving force behind initiatives that bring our community together and to revitalize our city. Her talent for building strong public-private partnerships has really made a difference in fostering sustainable growth here in Brownsville, Texas. With her visionary leadership and innovative spirit, Helen is dedicated to making our one city community a vibrant place that puts the well-being of our residents first. Damas y caballeros, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome to our podium City Manager Ms. Helen Ramirez.
Good morning, everyone. Beautiful day in Brownsville. Thank you to all our team who really helped respond through warming centers. We've probably helped over 100 people with the support of Good Neighbor, Settlement House, and our churches, and just all our communities. So when we talk about One City, and as you see our presentation, really, which is a collaboration of many of our dedicated employees, right? We have over 1,200 and over 20 departments, and also really your collaboration. So as we go through the presentation, think about how you form a part of the success of the city, right? And One City is the philosophy that working collaboratively internally with the city and externally with our nonprofits, our churches, our businesses, you represent the business community, that's the way we accelerate and we are more successful as a city. And so that's the philosophy, and that's really the driver of what we've been doing since last year. So I want to just, as you go through the slides, think about, where you fit in the success of the city and how you can help us take it farther. So I think I like rankings, and our rankings have changed through the years. We've evolved as a city. When you see a ranking that says Brownsville, Harlingen, MSA, so our metropolitan statistical area, our larger area is named #1 metro location for 2024 in the United States of America. That's data driven, right? And these are some of the reasons why, whether it's the SpaceX phenomenon, which they're also in the city, so they're in Starbase, and they lease over 100,000 square feet at our Brownsville South Padre International Airport. And the amount of investment, the LNGs, Rio Grande, and I know we have a representative here, and Texas LNG, and their combined $24 billion investment, they've already hired over 1,000 people. So we always talk about, economic growth, and this data just represents what's occurring. It reinforces what we see in our community. When we look at more data, right, and it's important because we've included the source, so these are sourced information, is that we've grown 6.7% in economic intergenerational mobility. If you think of our average age of our city, we're 29. That's a young population. And so this study, what showed is they looked at 27-year-olds in 1978 and 1992 and saw the economic growth, the ability for them to purchase and to have better salaries. We're #1 at 6.7% growth. And I'm sorry, I'm from Los Angeles, but it was actually the worst with -8.7. So it's really interesting to see when you talk to those businesses that you're trying to recruit, when you're talking, tell the story, right? This is Harvard studies and statistics that reinforce what you see every day. And with that, you can see the wage increases is very important. One of the things that we look at with our rating agencies, which actually we got the news yesterday that S&P upgraded. We have the highest rating. We went from AA to AA plus in the city. We thought we would reach that in 2026. Actually, it was in our CFOs and ours work plan. We got to improve that. We've been talking to Standard & Poor's, and to see that happened yesterday, and you'll see a press release on that. That allows us to borrow money for long-term infrastructure at a reduced cost. So those are the factors, when they look at our community, they look at salaries and economic growth. The census sometimes is behind the times, right? So what we see is that these agencies are seeing, they're really taking an interest of the uniqueness of what's going on, and they're going beyond and above their typical formulas. Because why? They know there's something special here, right? And plus, you have a great leadership team, not only with the mayor and city commission, but I have a great executive team that knows how to tell the story, right, with facts and figures, and that's really important. And so I can't say much more other than the Port of Brownsville is an economic driver, right? It is number 3 in investment and exports in the nation. So it's an emerging port, and really it's been very successful in its investment thus far. Texas LNG as well. We are on the subcommittee. It's good to talk about, support and concerns. So I think that's why they've been very engaged with the subcommittees that are made up of our chamber, our nonprofits. It's made up of a coalition of people, and it demonstrates also one city. And so those are some of the jobs that they're looking at creating, probably over 6,000 jobs. What I would like to say is that sometimes we think of construction jobs being short term, but as the LNGs grow and are successful and are awarded contracts, you see the amount of construction going on for a longer period of time. So it may be a whole 10 years of ongoing job and construction versus sometimes the short term that you think about. And so we are another, we used to talk in millions, now we talk in billions. So that is an indicator of where we're going. Of course, we need to talk about SpaceX. We have a great relationship with them. The city of Brownsville does. It's really interesting to see them evolve. I started here in 2019 as deputy city manager, and they had 500 employees, right? And now to see over 3,400, and also certain important, the relocation of their headquarters was a game changer. When you think of mission control, and that mission control is in Starbase. It's here in Brownsville. It's not in Houston. It's not in Hawthorne, California. It's here, and that's that's a great indicator of where we are. And so, what does that mean for the economic development of Brownsville? Talk to our airport director, Angel. He's here. He's over there, the tallest person in the room. What do you see? You see our FBOs, our car rental sold out. Our 32 hotels, yes, we have 32 hotels. We have short-term rentals. So we have over 2,000 rooms. They're all sold out. We have $4.6 million in sales tax revenue in test flight number 5, and $4.9 in sales tax revenue. And also, we get to see people from all over the world, from New Zealand, Australia. We consider ourselves an international city. With our sister city of Matamoros, we are international. Our mayor is a very binational, international mayor. In fact, we just hosted the Border Trade Alliance Mexico chapter here at IBC Bank. That's an indicator of they see us internationally. We are international. We have a direct flight to Monterrey, Mexico, which is a super hub for airport travel and for industry and commerce. That's their impact. This has grown, right? 21,400 indirect jobs, right? A lot of our construction companies have been benefited a lot, and vendors, from work out there and the work here. So we have the city itself, when we go over some of our capital improvement programs, we have the most robust capital improvement program in the history of the city. And so now we see the Star Factory being built out, $100 million Star Factory. It's probably half occupied, but that also allows for the headquarters to be moved and also to grow. This is a lot of information. We'll be sending this out information. We adopted our fiscal year 2025 budget As you can see, 110.6 million in capital improvements. Those are a lot of the infrastructure improvements. But the 5-year plan for capital improvement programs, which is buildings and roads and trails, and the design of a rec center, those are over a 5-year period. And like I said, it's a $300 million CIP. In 2019, we did not have a CIP for the city. This administration has created the capital improvement plan. We had it for the airport, and that's how we got a beautiful terminal that you see now today. But it was lacking for the city. So there's been a lot of building the foundation of what we need, planning, financial planning, and also fiscal forecasting. What do we need to get there, and what can we afford as a community? Our tax rate has gone down. Our actual tax rate has gone down for 4 years in a row. And as you can see, the 110 million, it's divided in different types of sectors, from streets, drainage, sidewalks, and trails, to different facilities, including our public safety complex. So we're going to get you're going to see that police station, which is amazing. Technology. We love our streets to be synchronized, and we're kind of behind the time with the synchronization of streets and the RGV. And heavy equipment. Much of the roads, the 52 roads that you saw, mill and overlaid, that was internal crews from the city of Brownsville. Imagine all the savings that we've had for not having to outsource. Getting our crews the right equipment, trained and motivated and empowered, that's why you saw Price Road paved in like a couple of weeks. That was all internal, and there's also a real pride on that work that's done. When you look at your tax dollar at work, your dollar here, over really 50% is public safety. So much of our operating revenue is personnel. It's the crew, the hotshot crew that is milling and overlay. It is our police officers, our wonderful fire department, is our emergency operations center. So really if you took a dollar, 60 cents of that dollar is really public safety. It is the meat and potatoes of what make our city safe, okay? So there's really no fluff. Really, there isn't. What we do is, what's interesting about our approach is that we have a robust grants department, and they were able to capture over $40 million in grants. Wow. And how many people in that department? I think there's like 5. 5, and it started a long time ago with some of the leadership of Commissioner Gowan with 1 person. And that person has grown to 5, but look at the ROI of that. Over $40 million in grants. So it's really impactful in how the community, our employees, our mayor and commission, what we're doing, and taking that farther. The CIP, in this year, 28.3 million in road maintenance. And a lot of our road maintenance, it's just not roads. Before it was, we could just afford the road. Now it's the road, the sidewalks, the trees, the utilities, are the lights working? It's a complete street. Can we put a bike lane there? How wide should the sidewalk be? How do our kids go to school? How do our hotel patrons go to a restaurant rather than, going to car? Can they walk to a restaurant? So those are the full 19 improved streets. We did 52 last year. We'll do 19. You'll see more full reconstruction. And if any of you have gone through old Highway 77, what we ask is, with gain comes a little pain, people. And so please slow down. We want to protect the safety of our crews, our construction workers, and your safety. So like I said, when you see success, when you see a lot of construction, you see success and you see execution in city government, right? And not all projects are city projects. As you see, the international project, East Loop, $180 million project that will link Veterans Bridge to the Port of Brownsville through the airport. That's also a textile project. So I know we get a lot of comments on textile projects, and we have a great liaison, Joel Garza, our director of multimodal transportation. We're always talking to textile. We have a monthly meeting with them to go over projects. But we appreciate your concerns, but we also say we also need that patience. Right? Because like I said, it's a little bit of pain for a lot of gain, because these streets are fully reconstructed, which means it's like a new road. It's almost like, $1 million a road. That's why it's so expensive. We couldn't do Old Highway 77 4 years ago. We didn't have the money to do it. We had to grow that capital improvement program, and that it's actually in the next slide, so you can see how beautiful it's going to be. And really excited, $13 million project. Also, we have a wonderful relationship with the Brownsville Public Utilities Board. We want to thank them for their collaboration because there's utilities that need to be put in. We have another utility project here in downtown through the alleys. Many of their infrastructure is old. Some of them are clay lines. So how do we want hotels here, restaurants, if we don't have the capacity? And so the city, what did it do? It used it when COVID hit. All cities in the United States received what you call ARPA fund, American Rescue Plan Fund, federal money. And the city said, I'm going to put, this money and stretch it. And they allocated $14.5 million to improve utility lines, the non-fun sexy things, in downtown. And we specifically looked at the planning department and the business community and BCIC and asked, where are you funding projects? The big program, where's Come Dream, Come Build? Where are you funding? And we strategically put the lines where we would need capacity. Because nobody wants to live in a downtown with low water pressure, right? And so we really have to think of forward think. Where are we growing? How do we want to be successful? And how do we ensure that our utilities and our infrastructure can support what's coming? Beautification is one thing that we really need to work on. I think that is a new campaign that you're going to see led by the mayor and city commission. We want to keep our city beautiful. We do have problems with tires. We have problems with illegal dumping in many vacant lots. You probably see those. And so we started an initiative. We're going to start a huge initiative, and we cannot be successful if you don't help us be successful. This is our community together. Together, we will make our community and educate. It's almost, we call it like change management. You're changing a mindset so that when someone does not dump something out of their car, right? Or we put more trash receptacles where we need them to be. So some of the things that we're talking about is mowing services. TxDOT has right-of-way. Why do you see 3 feet of grass? Because they have a mowing contract that wasn't working. And so the city commission on Tuesday approved a new contract, a municipal contract with TxDOT, the Department of Transportation. And now we will have the ability to pay and mow a lot of those and clean up our expressway. But we also need the help of our mall. We need them, helping our shopping centers. They need to also assist. And of course, the customers, the people that go there, right? Do we see it? If we see it on the street, are we also doing our part? So that's what, it has to be a collaboration between public, private, and the community. We're also looking at, it's hot in downtown, splash pads, and in downtown. We have a big urban park open space system in downtown, and it gets hot. And our kids, they want to be able to experience. We want to bring intergenerational population to downtown and have fun at Market Square, have fun at Washington Park, have fun at the zoo. And also we're looking at a concept for a new rec center, whether it's a YMCA or a public-private partnership, but we really need the next generation rec center as we have continued growth in the city. And we have our engineering department. So if there's questions, I will direct them to them. They're wonderful. But Four Corners, Los Tomates, and Impala Ditch, our drainage. We've experienced, a lot of rains. There's climate change. And so how are we looking towards the future? And these are long-term, expensive projects, right? And then, of course, synchronization. We want to get from A to B really quickly. We're still experiencing, I'm fortunate enough to go from home to my kid's school in 8 minutes and another 8 minutes to go to the school to City Hall, right? That's still under 20 minutes. But we're seeing more people, more population, more growth. How can we be smarter on how we synchronize and get people through our roadways? We don't always have the luxury, nor should we always expand our roads. We can't even afford it. That reconstruction cost of old highway, think of that money. We don't have unlimited money, but through technology, we can be very resourceful. You can add capacity through traffic synchronization. And everyone talks about our bus shelters, right? We received a grant from the Brownsville Community Improvement Corporation, but also leveraging grants and actually city money to be able to, enjoy. And not only annual shelter, I mean, you could charge your phone, there's sidewalk connectivity. If you have a wheelchair, we look at ADA accessibility. If there's a trail or another system, how do we connect there? And now we're gonna add more trash cans because we're gonna have more of a beautification campaign there. They're expensive, but they're also because they have to be well built to windstorm requirements. So we do have certain structural requirements that if you do get the strong winds, which we experienced at 3 to 6 in the morning on Tuesday. Those are the reasons why we have to protect, and also it makes it more costly, but it's also very safe. And we have to, as government, really think about what we build, and we have to build it right. I don't know how many of you know that our Emergency Operations Center is the conference room of our central library. Okay, that's reality. That's reality, guys. We have a dome at the sports park in case, we need to evacuate or create a warming center. But that's the reality of our city right now. And so the vision of the mayor and the city council was we really need to build an EOC. Okay, it started with the EOC. We even received $1 million grants by FEMA and federal government. But we also said, what more do we need? We need a police station. The capacity, the being able to go in and out of our main police station in downtown, it's difficult, right? There's obstructions, they can't grow. There's a historical museum next door. There's a courthouse on the other side. I mean, it's constrained. There's a zoo. And so what we really thought, we really need to reimagine what the next generation police station is going to be. But we wanted to be very collaborative in it. It's not only a police station, which, mind you, it's important, Chief, but also it's a fire administration, ambulance. It's also an EOC. It's also information technology and cybersecurity. So you hear that, cities are getting more and more hacked. To me, as a city manager, when I heard that the city of Long Beach, California, one of the most innovative cities in the United States, was hacked to the fact that they were only able to answer phone landlines, it really shook me. And so you're going to hear from our CIO later, who will talk about smart cities and the private 5G network that we're creating. But really, cities of the future and now need to be thinking about that. How are we resilient, and how do we protect our community, right, through cybersecurity and that? And so we already awarded the design contract, Metamorphosis. They are local, but they also brought in a lot of good bandwidth in terms of, hiring the best, because why? We deserve the best in the city of Brownsville, and so do our public safety officers. So it's going to be a wonderful collaboration. Our officers will be part of the design process, our EOC staff. So we're really going to look at the next generation of public safety in our community. And if we go from public safety to our senior center, yay! We need a senior center. We opened it up. I think they're still, finishing up the kitchen portion, but we wanted to already open up to classes, and there's programming. Our Parks Department has done a phenomenal job with our nonprofits and our leaders, intergenerational, to really be able to, provide programming. So we're really excited to see our seniors. We have, as you know, we suffer from diabetes. Health is a very important part of us living a large life expectancy. My grandmother lived to 101, so if we can raise that expectancy high, we should be able to do that. And then talking about health, we have a health department. Many cities in the United States do not have a health department. Counties do, but cities do not. We have a very innovative health, wellness, and animal services, which is BARC, an important innovative department. And with the leadership of Dr. Rodriguez, we have one of the few municipally owned vector labs in the state of Texas. And we need to think, we went through COVID. In COVID, if you remember, we had testing at our sports park for free, no questions asked. And then when there were very few labs available, we created our own lab with the collaboration of UTRGV and also the School of Public Health. So in those situations, we were safer here than anybody in Austin or Los Angeles, in Brownsville. That's how powerful these departments are, right, in maintaining our wellness. And then downtown, beautiful downtown, this is an example. I don't know how if you have remembered this building, 5 years ago, right? It was vacant, it was sad. Opening of eBridge, that's a city-owned property. We own almost the whole block. But little by little, through the EDA grant, we were able to, BCIC was able to locate at eBridge, be very entrepreneurial. They're doing a great job. And then this was the next step, right? Our communications and marketing department grew. In 2019, we had one person, and they were in the city secretary's office. And we're like, why? Our PIO. Look how we've grown from 2019 now. We have a robust, we have BTV, and many of the funds that we use were federal PEG funds, public education funds. So you see how we're leveraging that, and that funding is also redeveloping our downtown. So it's almost like a 2-for-1 here, right? And that's why you're here. And hopefully after you're here, maybe you go have a coffee at Jolie Petit or Sweet Co. or just look around at what's going on. We ask that you continue to support our small businesses. We have the Samano building. The city did a 380 agreement for that. $500,000 in gap financing to allow Country and Can Build to be able to purchase that building. Okay, the city itself is also incentivizing. So we not only have our wonderful EDC partners, we have GBIC here and BCIC, but the city is an economic driver. That is a big part of our mayor and commission's initiative. It is one of the main points of their 6-point strategic plan. So here we are, we lost HEB. Yes, that was a loss, but they were on their way out. HEB in historic downtowns are very rare, and they're very hard. The alley, everything was hard to do there, okay? But with the Samano building, they're going to have a local grocery store. So we were getting that back, right? And we're also helping an important affordable housing partner. El Jardín, the Brownsville Housing Authority, is one of the most innovating housing authorities, not only in Texas, in the nation. So these organizations are very, very well known on a national level. I think it's really important, not only your chamber, but your organizations here that provide affordable housing are very innovative. And so to be able to see, the renaissance of El Jardín, right? And they're also going to add, Carla's going to add a commercial aspect on the ground floor. So here we are, we're continuing to activate the ground floor of many of our streets and revitalizing the different streets. And the Capitol, the roof did cave in, and so the city has awarded over a $500,000 contract to save the roof and save the structure. To really, then that's going to be the next reimagining of that space. I want you to really participate. We're looking at we received 12 proposals for our new Downtown Renaissance Master Plan. We have not had a Downtown Renaissance Master Plan. We've had smaller plans. We're a Main Street USA, but really, what is happening within these 400 acres from the zoo to B Metro? What has happened to TSC? We really need to look at our connectivity to where UTRGV is. What is that connectivity? It's looking at streets. It's looking at land uses. It's looking at maybe not always having too many bars of a certain type. And it's looking at, we don't have height standards. We want to go vertical. So it's that conversation we need to have with you. There will be a lot of community engagement, so hopefully that'll kick off second quarter of this year. We're now in the evaluation process, but it's really great that we have so much interest from firms wanting to help us, right, because it's collaborative, look at what are we missing downtown, and what do we need to prepare for where we are and where we're going. Our multimodal department, they came up with a pilot free micro mobility circulator. So we'll have like little circulators for free, kind of hop on, hop off in downtown. So we just awarded that, and we're gonna just try it in-house with our own electrical transit, and let's start using them and see how it works. And what I ask you is to use them. Try them out, let us know. That's a great thing about pilots. There are always creative ways of learning if something's working or not. And then also, we just were awarded in December, MES Foundation wants to continue to support our downtown and awarded us $130,000 in funding to, I hope, how many of you have been to First Friday? I hope. Okay, there's a new one in Valentine's Day. I guess everyone has to dress up as pink or red, but yeah, that is, they saw the value in events in that. And so seeing that continued collaboration with the MES Foundation is wonderful, and we expect more to come. Gladys Porter Zoo, we love our zoo. It's been a process. The city first had to fund a $250,000 zoo master plan, nationally recognized consultant. It is, believe it or not, there are zoo economists. There's probably one in the nation. And the zoo economist said, in order to make sure you're operating, right, we always look at operating revenues and those things, is that you really need a new attraction. And they came up with a zip line. So you're going to zip, let's see, it's in the next picture. It's 130 feet tall. It's safe. And you're going to be able to zip along the zoo and see our animals. How cool is that? See Matamoros, our beautiful skyline, see our downtown. And what's beautiful about it is that when we talk about intergenerational, when you get a certain age, our kids, sometimes, they're hesitant about going to the zoo. So this is really going to bring back a lot of them. A lot of us are big kids, right? We're adults and we're kids too. We want to try that zip line out. But not only that, a new lion exhibit. How did this expansion of the zoo come about? The city owns a zoo. It's a park. It's in our parks master plan, believe it or not. We don't operate the zoo, actually, but we do have a wonderful collaboration with our zoo and their board. And a critical part of this was us being able to work with BISD in purchasing Cummings Career and Technical Education Center down. And that we work collaboratively. We had subcommittees. We have, we talked through, the city funded their study on the cost of what they need to do in their new CTE. We hired architects to be able to look at all their equipment, what can be relocated, what we needed to purchase for them. And we wanted them to be successful. And the cost of that, it was appraised market value, and it all came out $16 million. But it's important because it's also when the accreditation board, AZA, came, they said, the standards for animals, they need more space. Right? And so in order to preserve one of our most important tourist attraction, they attract 450,000 people a year. It is the only zoo south of San Antonio. It's a nationally top 20 accredited zoo. So this is the importance of the city collaborating with BISD. That was a three-way communication. That is a wonderful example of one city. And I talk about this year, so I'm going to give you homework. Your homework is that when we start launching community engagement participation for all these master plans, I call it 2025 is the year of planning with you, not for you. You see that? But we can't do that if you're not engaged, okay? So pick your favorite subject. Do you like health? Are you interested in downtown? Do you want to participate in the city's first ever housing plan that will not only look at affordable housing, but condos, maybe small homes, different rental homes. It's looking at dorms for our students. So pick what you want or participate in all of them. But the comprehensive plan is the forward-thinking 10 to 20 years. It's almost like, what do you want to be when you want to grow up? That's what the comp plan encompasses, everything. okay? But please, we have a new solid waste contract. That's historical. And our first citywide recycling contract. So those are initiatives that are all going on this year. Some of them will take more than 1 year, right? Because there's too important, the comp plan, for example. But really participate. And also, we're also looking at being the few cities to have an international trail connectivity between the B&M trail, right, Matamoros, and Brownsville. So that's also, when you look at the map on top, we're looking, and you're seeing, what's the city doing with the county? Where we're looking at, we already have a downtown, what we call a tax increment reinvestment zone, fun word. We're looking at expanding that, adding some county area, and then together working on projects collaboratively. So you'll see more on that. We did purchase the Brownsville Museum of Fine Arts. You may know that. It was something that, they needed help. And when we have a partner that needs help, we're there, right? It's very important for the city. And so they're in the situation that they had leaks in the skyline. I don't know if you guys have been there, but they've had leaks in that building. So the city did allocate over $300,000 to repair it. It's repaired. But also, we're going to work with the community to hopefully reimagine and that space. Like, what should it be? And so we'd had, even on Tuesday with the cold, thank you to the 30 people in our community that came out to the event center and gave input on museums, art, and culture in the city. What do you want to see? What do you like? What do what's the future? And all those comments feed the request for interest that we're going to launch in the upcoming months of what is the gap? What are we missing in our community to bring you back to see our museums, to look at the expansion of the Children's Museum, to look at the expansion of the zoo and our cultural ROCA and all our partners and what they're doing, right? So many of these processes are fed through communication from the public. And I want to continue to, when you see, we hired a museum consultant to do that, because that's not something that we normally do, right? And so much of that is collaboration with UTRGV, collaboration with the community, Brownsville Historical Association. So we're making sure that our partners are our artists. We've never had so many murals in the city. If you went to the last Ciclovia, it was a mural Ciclovia ride. And so you're seeing a lot of what we're doing. And so I'm going to pass it over to Jorge. Jorge is our CIO here for the city, and he's going to go and talk about the future of broadband and technology, because it's such an important driver of what we're doing and the commitment we're doing, and the fact that we really need to have options for our family. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. So thank you for being here. So before I start talking a little bit about the fiber, I think everybody is really familiar with what is happening in the community with the fiber, the new company that is in town. So I just want to remind everybody why we started this program, why we started the project. And the NTIA, or better known as the National Telecommunication Information Administration, back in 2014, they stated that the city of Brownsville was the worst connected city in the nation, right? The worst connected city in 2014. Then in 2017, they came back and said we were the second worst connected city in the nation. So we improved a little bit, but not by too much. So just want to remind everybody that that's why we are here. We started that project because we wanted to get everybody an option. We wanted to get the city another option to get a better connection. Everybody, all of us, I live in the city. I've been here in the city now for 2 years, and I know the struggle of having that connection that goes in and out all the time, paying those high prices, and it is just frustrating working from home and having to just, being mad. And my daughter, she's in IT as well. She works in cybersecurity, and it is just frustrating being at home and not being able to connect. So now, with another option, having a lit fiber, or now known as Omni Fiber, they actually have that connection at my home now. I was able to get that connection about 2 months ago, and it's day and night difference. Is the speed is faster. It's been connected since day one. I haven't had any issues, and it's just a lot faster, and I have no complaints at all. So one of the good things about it is that I notice, and not just the speed. The other one is every time my kids, and the kids at home, and I'm very big on security. Here at the city, I always push your training. I always make sure that, hey, do your training. You don't do your training, I'll disconnect you. I'll push for that. Why? We got to comply, right? You got to comply. The state mandates that you got to do your training. So everybody does a really good job in the city, and we all do our training, and that's really good for us. So the same thing with the company. When we started, I got together with their leadership, and they came up with a great program as well on their end. And they when you connect with them, they actually install a software where when you connect to an unsecure site, it will block it, and you will get a notification say this link was blocked because it is unsecure. So it is a really cool feature that they have, and that's why I said it's fast and secure. So it is a guaranteed speed. So if you get 200 megs, 500, a gig, it is a symmetrical speed. Means that you get 500 down, 500 up. If you connect with any other ISP right now, they say, oh, you get a gig. Yeah, there's a gig down, but you only get like 20, 15 megs up. And if you want to download, yeah, you would download videos and stuff. But with somebody like me that wants to work from home and upload information, it will take you some time, all right? And that's when people like us, the work from home, struggle when you try to upload information. So that's when the problem comes, all right? The other cool thing is the Wi-Fi router. That one has more power than the typical routers. That's another thing that I noticed. With the other one that I had before, the moment I stepped out of my house, pretty much the signal was out. Now, I know Helen said before in her driveway, she will lose connectivity all the time. Right now, I have signal all the way up to my street. So it's more powerful. So that means, in your house, you can have a little bit more, connectivity in your house. So, I mean, if you have, 2-3-story house, maybe you need an extra router, but it will give you a little bit more power in there. So, and another one is like, yeah, they said, I haven't had any, I haven't had to call them or anything for any services, but it's, they will come in for free and, 24/7, network security. So they're doing really good right now. They obviously, as a new company, they started the first customer in August. They have 977 connected customers. They have 132 pending customers, and over 3,000 on the waiting list. So they have about, I think they said about 7,000 houses right now already ready to be connected. So if you know anybody, you can go onto the website, tell them to put themselves on the waiting list. They might be already on their neighborhood. But I know they are hiring a lot of people as well. So if you know anybody that's looking for a job, they are hiring people to, go for sales. They have hiring people to go and knock on the door and, sell their product. So if you know anybody. So yeah, so that's pretty much on Omni. And then the next one is what we doing. So when it comes to technology, the fiber is the project. We already installed the fiber in our city. So the next question is, what is next? I've been around the world. My background is I was in the military, DOD. I travel around the world a lot, and I seen many things. I seen what works. I seen what doesn't work, and one of the things that I learned in the military is that you need a wireless connection to connect things. Going into the middle of nowhere and having to work with mobile devices is one of the best things that you can do. And coming here to the city and seeing the departments asking, oh, we need to install this device here. We need to install this device there. We need to do this here and there, and not having that connection there is something that to think about. It's a wake-up call to say we need something else to make that connection, right? We cannot just extend a cable to that location because there's streets, there are buildings, there's so many other things. The only thing that we can do is put a wireless connection. All of us remember back in the 90s where at your home, when you had your, I'm sure, those of you that are my age, back then when we had our boyfriends, girlfriends, we had to be on the phone, right? And the long cord on the corner, we had to be there, talking. Same thing. Just think about it. You have to be on your phone right now with that long cord. You don't have to do that right now, right? So it's the same thing here. I can have, with that 5G connection, the wireless connection, I can have a camera right here powered, and I can have a live feed back to my data center. Why? Because I have a wireless connection. So that's what we're doing. So we actually, the city commission approved a project for the city to have our own private 5G network. What that means is we are using our own fiber middle mile to install radios to have our own private 5G network. And what that means is a cellular connection. It's like a cellular connection like T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T, like all those cellular companies. And now we can we can actually use our SIM cards in our phones, computers, tablets, or anything that connects to a cellular mobile device and have a connection, an internet connection, pretty much anywhere where our satellites or our radios are located. So some of the use cases, one of the reasons that we started, main reasons that we started on this first phase is for the public safety. Here in the downtown area, the police chief, and this is, I gotta give the police chief props because I've been to many places and a lot of times departments don't really take the time to do their due diligence on what needs to be done. The chief is one of the most innovative persons that I have met. He does a lot of his homework. He does a lot of good things, and he has a lot of the technology already installed in the city. So now he needs that strong connection, and I know with this private 5G, he's going to do even more of what he has already. He already has a lot of cameras installed in the downtown area. So now with this connection, he's going to be able to do even more. And now we actually, in the next couple of weeks, we have a company coming in to do a demonstration to do some drones, to actually deploy some drones and help them also with his operation. So, and all that is with a private 5G. Without the private 5G connection, that will be pretty much impossible. Right? So public safety is having that wireless connection to connect those cameras in the streets. What that means? Safer streets, right? That means having pretty much safer, cleaner streets as well. Another use case is monitoring those areas for illegal dumping. Our city managers talk about people dumping things on areas they're not supposed to. So we will place some cameras on strategic locations where people are dumping things they're not supposed to be. Parks, trails, to keep all those you guys that use those trails safe. And also on top of that, on this technology, we will have what we call a smart platform that will give us the analytics that we want. What that means is we're going to tell that platform, hey, tell us every time, for example, there's a person with a gun. So that means the police department is going to get an alert. Let us know when there's a person acting, aggressively. In the parks, let us know when there's a person that, fell and didn't get up for, after 20 seconds. So let us know when somebody's in the water in a kayak and we put a boundary and that person left that boundary. Send us an alert. There was a case last week when a person went missing on a kayak. That could have been a really good use case. The camera can do that. Our smart platform can do those things. So that's why it's called a smart platform. All those things can be done with this new technology, the private 5G. And that's just us touching the surface of what this technology can do. The last one that I can talk about is our airport. We will have this technology at the airport, and pretty much it will monitor the whole runway, monitoring any foreign object, making sure that all the planes land safely, monitoring all the perimeter, and having cameras around the airport. And also, we are setting the foundation for the next layer. And again, this is just the beginning. The next thing is building a digital twin for the airport. Actually send some information to Angel. A digital twin, what it means is like a twin, right? You pretty much create a clone of something, create a clone of the airport. Now you have a clone of the airport, but it's a digital clone. And now you can actually see and digitally how the airport is operating. Now he can see how everything is actually operating from the inside of the airport. So it's a pretty amazing things that you can do with this technology. Again, I can be here all day and tell you what the vision of it, but yeah. So I think I pretty much I talk about that. The cellular connectivity. Crowd counting, that's another one. We have a lot of events here in the downtown, so that will help us identify how many people attended some of those events. No more guessing, I guess, about 200 people. No, it will tell us how many people attended that event. Vehicle classification, it will tell us at those events how many, what cars, so license plates recognitions, especially for auto theft and all that stuff. We actually apply for a grant to come up with another technology to work on that. And then I talk about the predictive analytics. So I think that's the last slide on it. But
now you know why I turned over the mic, right? And then Jorge mentioned the airport. As you know, we opened it during COVID. Pretty much, you have our beautiful pictures of the masks on, but that was January 2021. That was done with Capital Improvement Program. SpaceX is there, nonstop flights to Dallas and Houston, right, daily, and they're increasing, and also to Monterrey, Mexico, which is every day as well. And we have a $35 million runway project. Much of the funding, we were awarded $10.6 million by the FAA. So, that's also leveraging grant money. It's usually a 90-10. They submit 90% of the grant and we pay for 10%. We're very excited. We got Calacas here. I know now they're going to open downtown as well. So, and they're at the island. So Calacas, it's great to support local business. Have you ever been to the Austin airport? It's very authentic eating. The mayor and commission wanted that same. Let's support local. You have 7th and Park. That's not their cool out, lounge, chill out area will be there. So we have a concession, and the city, also the airport, was supportive of their build out of the concession. So, and also we're looking at BCAC awarded the airport a playground area. So we'll have a playground area and also looking at a business center. So it just really makes the airport a very positive, nice experience. We've gotten a lot of wonderful comments of how modern it is. It does have a lot of technology with regard to sustainable electricity and energy as well. And then also hotels, we need them. We have extended stays hotels that are coming on site. So if you've seen the one on Morrison, it will be opening April of this year. And that's about over 100 rooms. So combined, if you combine these 3 hotels, there are about 300 rooms, over 300 rooms. Some which are extended suite. There's a new concept with Hilton called Live Smart. And I love that we're getting, verticality with 4 stories, and also our full-service hotel Embassy Suites. They're going through the plating process, and so that'll be very wonderful. And then we'll have kind of a rooftop viewing area so that they can see launches on a clear day. Right, so that's what we needed, and so it's really exciting to see. And they're all in different places of the city, right? So it's not just concentrated in one area. One big initiative with the Mayor City Commission and Commissioner Villarreal is the Youth Scholarship. We have created our first youth committee. They're made up of a junior or a senior represented from every high school in Brownsville. 18, we have a lot. Charter, private, public. And that really sends a message of one city, and they're really taking it. They're wonderful leaders, they're amazing, and they have a scholarship program. I think it's already out, right? There's a portal right now. If you're young and you need a scholarship, athletic, leadership, there's some criteria there, but there's already out. And really this scholarship program is to give back to our youth, right? So it's youth through a process, right? Helping our youth, and we're really excited about what they're going to do. They're going to be reporting all the wonderful work they do to the city, right? So we need to continue to shape our leaders and support them. And so we have a golf tournament. If you want to sponsor, if you want to show up, you want to play golf, please participate. This is the 2nd year. We moved it to cooler time of the year, so please just be out there. And really, not many cities in the United States have a youth commission, but we do. And last but not least, when you need help, services, please use 546 Help Support Center. We're here to answer your questions, to support you. And last but not least, I want to invite you to the State of the City. That's March 26th, with a wonderful collaboration and leadership with the Chamber of Commerce. It's going to be this on steroids, right? So really, the reason that the mayor decided to have it at Texas Southmost College is to ensure that our students can attend, right? So that's the commitment to our students. It's moved from the event center. He had our first one, and now it's the second one. And it's to ensure they get free tickets. It's to make sure that they participate and they see how their city is growing and what it's doing. So thank you so much. And that concludes our presentation. I'm really happy to be here, and we can take questions.